Hi,
Hello,
everybody.
everyone.
You're very welcome to the weekly dose with Antoinette and Gráinne. Here we are.
Yeah,
I'm Antoinette McQueenie from Antoinette McQueenie Homeopathy. And
and I'm Gráinne Flanagan from I Am Healing, and delighted to
hello,
be here,
hello.
everyone. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Antoinette, do you want to go straight into this week's topic?
Well, we had a few chats among ourselves and just things that have been kind of going around in our own heads and things that have been said to us by clients over the week, over the weeks, over the years. And that is that we're not actually responsible for people's health.
Mm.
We're not responsible for our clients' health. We are just really responsible for our own health. You know,
Yeah.
we can do our best, but we are limited, and there's only so far we should be going in dealing with people. They have to take a lot of responsibility themselves.
And I think we need to maybe explain this because I think the again the allopathic model, which what I mean by that is traditional Western medicine. You go to the GP, you tell him what's wrong, he hands you something, and you go home and it's going to be fixed. So it's up to him to sort you out. And we've kind of gotten into that. As a society, we make other people responsible for everything. Our schools are nearly responsible for raising our kids now. There's almost that, pushing everything out that way. And as homeopaths, we experience that quite a lot with, people coming to us and saying, uh, oh, can you sort my skin out? I have an allergic reaction to chlorine. Okay, and how much do you expose yourself to chlorine? Oh, I swim in the pool every day. Okay, well, we might need to pull back from the pool a little bit. No. So how do we, you have to work with us. There's a journey we're going to go on. And I know that's a very basic example. I'm not necessarily saying that that would have to happen, but it's a really tough one, isn't it? Because people they just want that, homeopathy has been advertised as the magic pill. But it's almost like misinformation, really, isn't it? You've got to
Yeah.
eat the magic pill.
Yeah. Yeah, you're spot on because sometimes people, because I'm dealing with periods, you deal with mostly trauma, but you do general. I
Yeah,
deal mostly with periods, and a lot of things like endometriosis would be very much linked to inflammation in the body. So I would regularly suggest people go for food allergy testing to
yeah,
see what's causing the inflammation. And the most common one that comes back is gluten and then maybe dairy. But a lot of people don't want to make that change. And I try to explain to people that it's not that there's something, intrinsically wrong with their body. They're just not able to tolerate gluten, as a lot of people are not able to tolerate gluten. And not just the gluten, it's the glyphosate that's sprayed on it and all of that. Um, and it's amazing that some people, not all, don't want to make that change. They don't want to cut out the gluten. They want me to fix it
yeah,
instead. Or they want, but that's not working with the body. If I was to go in with some sort of magic pill to turn down the sensitivity to the gluten in the body, there's no learning there in the body. The body's trying to do something. It's got a very important role to do. It's like, no, this is not right. This is
yeah,
something that's a poison going into me. Oh, okay, I'll turn down the sensitivity, but the poison is still going in.
exactly.
It's just you're
Exactly.
not aware of it.
Yeah. But even on a I suppose from the trauma perspective, you would see a lot of trauma held in the body, held in the spine, held in the back, and held in the hips. And even that can be sometimes in little babies. We would see a lot
Yeah.
of babies who the trauma of the birthing process, the first thing they need is some craniosacral adjustment, because they're out of whack. And homeopathy is amazing, but we know that that's such a beautiful modality to marry alongside it. But for me, working with trauma, I sometimes have to say to clients, okay, you need to work with your body here. You need to connect into what your body is needing or saying. And it's like your body needs to rest. Your body, so like myself having gone through a grief journey this year, and yeah, let's get personal for a minute, but it's like there was days I couldn't get off the sofa and I just had to go, do you know what? I'm going to stay on the sofa today because that's what my body was screaming for. Whereas I think we're in a society that's telling us, oh, I need to go, go, go. And I've had clients say to me, can you give me a pill so that I can keep going? And it's like, no, but I had to, you have to lean into that grief. You have to lean into that trauma. You have to lean into that torture. And that's something that, if you keep resisting that, the pills, the homeopathy isn't going to quite reach you in the way it would if you went with it with us. Um, yeah.
That's a really lovely example. Can I just say something about that actually with grief?
Yeah.
Um, if you had gone possibly to your doctor with that, saying there's days I can't get off the couch, you would be prescribed an antidepressant.
Yeah.
And most likely because that's their job as well. They're trying to fix what's available to them. So it would be an antidepressant. But I treated a woman some years ago who had been on antidepressants for 25 years after a bereavement in her family. And she told me she had never dealt with that bereavement because the whole sensitivity button had been turned down. So she didn't feel anything for 25 years. And when she slowly came off the antidepressants after 25 years, that's when the grief came up.
Yeah.
So sometimes you don't have to take a pill for everything. You've got to just know that it's okay to actually feel shit and to lie on the couch for the day
Yeah.
or several days.
And I'm really lucky with my own homeopath that I have such a good relationship with her. I know when I need to go to her. And I also, my friends will turn around and go, maybe you need to see your homeopath. But for the most part, not everything needs. And I think we also know we don't take remedies willy-nilly either. So those days that I have been on the sofa, I've just got the box of tissues on. I've put on the soppy movies that are going to have me crying, and I've cuddled up into me teddy bear and kind of had a lovely time of crying. And then I get up and go, right now I'm feeling better for it because my body has let go to what it's holding on to. Um,
Yeah.
now I'm going to caveat all of that. The lady you described, sometimes the role of the remedy is to actually bring people ever so gently to that point of being able to lie on the couch.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you've been avoiding. But the whole idea that a remedy is going to actually bypass all of that and keep you run, 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 run. No, no. Or stop you having to do the physical work. I don't have time to be stretching and running and walking or whatever it is, doing some mobility stuff. I don't have time for that. You need to fix my back. Well, no, you need to do the stretches, darling. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
so yeah, it's
The one that I get a lot, and I even had it this morning. So if the person who was in touch with me this morning hears this, please do not think this is directed at them because I get asked this question all the time by women, and that is this going to help my libido? Is this remedy going to help my libido? And they might have spent an hour telling me how unsupported they're feeling in their relationship, how they don't feel nurtured and nourished and looked after by the person who should be supporting them, how they're carrying the lion's share of the workload, how they feel disrespected. Um, and then they turn around and say, is this going to help my libido? No, it's
no,
actually really not. You need to look at your relationship and you need to look at your workload and you need to look at your stress levels. But sometimes that's very much put back on me as the homeopath treating menstrual issues and whatever. It's not going to fix your libido.
yeah,
Not a chance because there's so many other factors at play there.
yeah.
If it's just purely a hormonal thing where you're a little bit out of whack, but you're in a great relationship and you feel supported and heard and seen and attractive and you are attracted to your partner, then yes, it is going to help your libido. But if all the other things are going against that, it's not.
Absolutely. And again, it's this idea of the magic pill. I actually, in some
Yeah,
ways, hate that label on homeopathy because it's like, oh, there's a line with it. I actually have another lovely example this week. And again, I know this client will be listening in, but I'm dealing with an infection, a skin infection with her son this week, and it's an acute. And the kid wanted it fixed straight away because he wants to be off out living his best life in his summer holidays. But me
yeah,
and mum are like, I said, this is a deep, deep infection. This is going to take a chunk of time. And it's just a sense. And because the mum is, I'm so blessed, she's been working with me for years. She's working with homeopathy longer than me, I think. And she knows, she's like, yeah, you're right, this is going to take time. And so I'm supporting her every day and making sure, yeah, it's progressing. And it is resolving, but it's slow. And it's this idea that actually that healing journey, and particularly in dealing with infected matter, people are like, oh, it's going to go work. It's going to take time. It's not going to be like that. And so thankfully we're doing it, but it's taking time. Whereas I know there would be other people at this point who would be on the antibiotics. And again, that's fine if that's the road you go.
Yeah,
I'm not here to tell you what to do, but it's just the idea that, oh well, he took the infection remedies for a day and it isn't better. Now she didn't say that, by the way, but it's that energy can sometimes come at us.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
no, sorry, that's not how this is going to work. Um,
yeah. Or I have taken my remedies and still have this, I still have painful periods, or I still have the headaches, the migraines, or whatever. And you say, how long are you taking your remedies? 8 weeks. And how long have you had this issue? 15 years. There's that expectation that this magic pill should fix things overnight, and that's impossible.
And it blows my mind because I would get, as you said, I get a lot, but UTIs would be a classic one. And people have gone to the doctor for antibiotic after antibiotic after antibiotic. So we're talking, I mean, I'm thinking of one lady now in particular, I think she's had 8 over the last year. And she's coming to me, and I'm kind of going, okay, let's set some expectations here. And it's like, oh, but yeah, I know it's that energy is there of, oh, if this doesn't resolve in your one prescription, then I'm done with homeopathy.
Yeah,
What?
yeah,
How did that
yeah.
happen? you
Or
know?
the last chance saloon people who come because nothing else has worked, and they say, well, I'm going to give it one go.
One
That's a
go.
great start to a
Yeah.
relationship.
So let's conclude this by saying, instead of, because, it's almost like the idea of Prince Charming on the white horse. Homeopathy is not
Yeah,
that. All right?
yeah,
Let's
exactly.
delete the magic pill label on it. It is amazing. It is a beautiful modality. But there is work involved. And I'm sorry, but some of you have to do some of that work with us.
And they're the cases that resolve the easiest and the quickest, don't they? When the client comes and says, okay, if you do your bit, I'm going to do my bit. I'm going to support myself with some great food. I'm going to get moving, and I'm going to really work on my sleep and fixing my sleep routine, because we can't fix somebody else's sleep routine if they're scrolling till 1, 2 in the morning.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I'm not personally, Gráinne, maybe you do. I can't go into people's houses at night and wrestle the phone out of their hands,
Yeah,
or
that's
out of
what.
their children's hands.
So I have a little time machine that allows me. I'm a bit like Santa Claus. I go around the country at night time, popping into people's houses down their chimney. And while I'm there, then I go through the cupboard to take out the sugar.
You obviously charge extra for that. I don't do that service.
Yeah. If you haven't got that service, check it out on my website. Oh God, we are the
But that's not to say that sometimes we do see unbelievable results. Unbelievable results,
course.
almost straight away. But there's a lot of background stuff gone in there as well.
Yeah, there is. And it's, of course, when people go on to most homeopaths' social media, mine included, a lot of the time you see the magic 1, 2, 3
Yeah,
prescription results.
yeah,
Because that just shows the amazing potential of this modality. But I also have posted about, the clients that are working with me 1, 2 years. And not always solidly. Some of them, it's in and out, and particularly with trauma work and deep emotional stuff, you're in and out with it. I
yeah.
know my own journey, it's in and out. um so yeah, so I just ran out of steam there.
Well, I think that's perfect. That's the perfect place to end. And please do tune in next week, because there's something very exciting happening next week.
I'm a little
So
bit excited, Antoinette. I'm a little bit excited. I'll let you tell them.
Okay, but we actually won't say any more than that, actually. Let's
Oh,
just leave it at that. Let's leave it at that. Tune in next week. You might see some little hints on our social media over the next week. But there's something big coming. There's something really big coming.
yeah, and
I'm
it's
very
it's
excited.
we're announcing it. I'm just going to say this on New Moon Energy, so I know this is
Yeah.
it. really, really exciting. And so, yeah, the weekly dose next week. Come join us.
Bye. Bye bye
Bye.
bye.